everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to refashion a summer blazer, or resize more precisely. I got this one in the website everything5pounds.com and it was really too small. It went from being very big to a crop jacket. Obviously you might not have the same items as I do, but the principle is the exact same for whatever jacket you will have which has no lining. Doing an alteration on a jacket with a lining is a slightly different story, but if you have, like me, no lining, this is easy enough to change to your own liking. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you after.
Alright, so first you will need to wear the jacket and mark where you want the length to finish and where you want your sleeve to finish. I would advise you to do that in front of a mirror, so it would be a lot easier for you and you will visualize it a lot better. Next you will need to wear your jacket inside out so we can pin it and do the alteration. If you do not have someone to help you out and you have dummy, that's great. Otherwise you will need someone for this step. It will be a lot easier. So now we are going to start with the center back and we are going to add a dot. For that you're going to start by the waist and working your way upwards and downwards. Start at your waist because that's where you're going to take the most fabric. It's where your body is supposed to be the smallest, and that's where you will need the most fabric taken off. And you're going to work your way up to nothing and your way down to nothing because you need more space for your hips and more space for your shoulders. And you're going to have a diamond shape, so pin as you go along and make sure everything is smooth and that you have enough room to move later on. For the side I'm going to do the exact same thing, and I'm going to start from the waist and I'm going to work my way upwards and downwards. You will have to adjust as well the armhole, but same thing, you just pinch and pin. Just make sure that you do not pinch too much on one side because otherwise it's going to be unbalanced. So once your jacket is pinned, you're going to put it on the table, fold it in half at the back seam and make sure it's right sides together. Now what we're going to do is just mark off where you put the pins. And just use a pen or a piece of chalk and just mark it off. So once all your pin placement has been marked, we're going to take the pins out and we are going to make a nice clean line so it will just be a bit tidy. I don't know if you're going to see it, it's in green there, so it starts from nothing at the shoulders because we don't need to take it in, and it's going to increase up to the waist where we need to take the most fabric, and then it's going to decrease again so we have some space for the hip line. So we are going to repeat the same process with the sides of the jacket. As you can see here, I have some pockets on mine and I'm going to lose them, so I'm going to get them out of the way and cut them. I'm just going to mark where my pins are, so after I can make some clean lines for them, and after that's going to be my new sewing line. So once you have one of the sides sewn, you can cut the excess fabric, leaving a centimeter seam allowance, and use that excess as a guide for the other side, so you're making sure everything is symmetrical. From that, when you're putting it on the other side, make sure to add on a centimeter seam allowance to it, and you will have the same cutout. So now for the length of your jacket itself, so there's different ways you can do it. I started with it being straight and then I changed it completely later on. The principle is the same. So where you have your marking, just mark at least an inch in on towards the outside just to add a hemline. I'm putting at least an inch simply because the more fabric you add, the more weight you're going to add, and that's better. This fabric is very flimsy and I should have added a lot more. So now all around your jacket you're going to take the same amount of fabric. Make sure that you have your seam allowance put in, otherwise your jacket is going to be too small. So now it's time to hem your jacket. So more than likely you're going to have a facing, and facing basically is a piece of fabric, usually it's the same as your outer fabric, that is used to hide the raw edges on the collar and the neckline. And also when your jacket is open, at least we don't see the wrong side of your fabric. What you're going to do is fold back your facing so it's going to be right sides together with your jacket, and you're going to sew the raw edges on the bottom with your 1-inch seam allowance. Then what you're going to do is clip your corners and then flip the whole thing back around. What it's going to do is going to give you a nice corner where the sides and the hem meets, and then it's just going to hide those raw edges, so it's going to make everything neat for you. What you need to do then is iron the whole thing in place, and that's going to set your hem the right size. So all you need to do is iron it out, and then you can sew your hem in place. You can repeat that with the other side of your jacket, and that's it. For the sleeve, just look at where you put your markings on where you want it to stop, then add seam allowance to it, and then you can cut accordingly and hem your sleeves. You could be finished there if you wanted to. But I had a change of heart, so I took the remaining piece of my sleeve, I folded in half, round sides together, and I attached it to my sleeve. So that way I would have a piece that can be folded back on itself and have an extra bit of texture or look to it. So that's something you can do. I wasn't really happy on how it looked all in general, so I thought I cut it a bit too short. So what I did is decide for a low-high hem. So all I did is decide on where I wanted it to stop on my center back. Then I connected the sides to the back with a curve. Make sure you add seam allowance. Then I cut only one side, and I used that cut bit as a template for the other side, so it would be symmetrical. All you need then to do is just to hem the whole thing again, and you're done.
Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, why not giving it a thumbs up so I will know you like it, and you can subscribe for more videos. If you enjoy this type of video, let me know, because I'm surely going to put some pattern making videos where we will take patterns from existing clothing, because there's some I want for the summer, and why not make a video about it. But I'd like to know if you are interested in such thing. As usual, all my links for my social media will be in the description bar, and feel free to come and say hi. And I usually upload update quite often on Instagram or Facebook and stuff like that, so just come on and say hi. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.